and Kennedy Okeyo, and 3 others. Brian Obuya, KTN News.
All right, so this morning our top story is on the proposed BBI referendum that ODM Raila Odinga says that Kenyans must hold a referendum on the BBI report that seeks to expand the executive structure and create the position of a prime minister before the 2022 general election. Now, Odinga goes ahead to say that a referendum should not cost more than 2 billion shillings and that BBI rallies will soon resume once the COVID-19 pandemic curve flattens. And now I want us to have a discussion on this Raila's statement when it comes to the referendum before the poll, with Elisha Odhiambo, Member of Parliament of Game, joining us via way of phone. Mheshimiwa, thank you so much for talking to us here on KTN News Center. So your ODM party leader, Raila Odinga, says it will not cost more than 2 billion shillings. That is a conversation that has caused a lot of political debate on social media.
I think Raila is right. It's not going to be so expensive to do a referendum as when you compare to getting the country go on anarchy and chaos. I think BBI is all about helping the country get to a level of equity, a level of inclusivity, where all ethnic communities would feel that they are part and parcel of the Republic of Kenya.
And do you think, okay, kindly finish your statement.
So I said it earlier on KTN News in the beginning of this week, and I said that you can take it to the bank, that we'll have a referendum before the next election.
And do you think it is timely because some Kenyans are looking at it like this is not a priority for now? The priority is how the country is supposed to be fighting COVID-19, flattening our curve, employment of people who've lost their jobs. Some don't even have money to pay rent.
I think if you look at the content of the BBI document is about the youth. We realize that we have a youth balloon, and many of the youth are disadvantaged. They don't have jobs. There's no opportunity. And given the impact of COVID, is even worse. But the BBI forms a foundation for the youth to have a future. It forms a foundation that will avert any election anarchy and chaos in the Republic of Kenya. So what sacrifice is better? Is it better to forget about BBI? Let us deal with the impact of COVID and let the country go on anarchy and chaos in the next election? That is my question to you.
And that was the same question that I'd asked you, Mheshimiwa, because Kenyans are thinking like this referendum debate is not a priority for them right now. But then let's move on. And BBI will come in 3 parts. You know, the issue is about it will require an executive action. At the same time, those that need legislative action through bills in Parliament and changes must go to a referendum. So already Parliament is a divided house. And when I talk about Parliament, I'm talking about the National and the Senate Assemblies. It's divided when it comes to this BBI debate. So do you think this division, when it comes to the division, BBI will actually sail through?
I think if you ask me, the majority of membership in the National Assembly are supporting the president's agenda. And they're supporting the unity between the president and Raila Odinga in terms of uniting the country together, in terms of setting a framework under which the future generation will have a better nation where they feel they're part and parcel of that nation without feeling they're disenfranchised. You see, what is happening currently is other ethnic communities like Northeastern, they're feeling disenfranchised. This is the answer that the BBI will provide a panacea for.
Outstanding issues that relate to the institution that will oversee the referendum should Kenyans go the referendum way. And I'm talking about one of the institutions I'm talking about is the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, which needs to be streamlined in good time so the country doesn't end up where we ended up during the 2017 elections, changing the commission towards the election.
I think provided the National Assembly and Senate has a goodwill in terms of implementing the executive directive, or in terms of being persuaded by the executive on implementing what they want so that the country can move forward. I think as we talk now, I can talk for the National Assembly. The President of the Republic of Kenya has numbers.
My question is...
I'm saying,
Okay.
provided the majority of the National Assembly are supporting presidential desires and are standing with the President in the implementation of his legacy, all execution of these tasks, whatever, even if it's legislation, it will be done in the time expected.
But ODM has always been uncomfortable with the constitution of the IEBC. And that is where I'm asking you, do you think streamlining this institution earlier enough will be better so that we don't go back to where we were during the 2017 election of changing the commission just months to an election?
I want to remind you that in 1997, Parliament was together and formed the IPPG. And it happened with the shortest time possible, because the then President Daniel Arap Moi agreed on the suggestion of Parliament so that we have stakeholders representing all the ethnic communities and the parties. And there was a unison among the membership of Parliament at that time, and they agreed. And this is what I see happening, provided the names presented will be based on consultation, a comprehensive consultation process. I don't see a problem at all.
Right, and would it probably be fair to argue that we may need at least 12 clear months between the referendum, the BBI referendum, and the general election, because the biggest challenge shall, however, remain the closeness of the referendum to the general election?
Yes, I agree. You know, we need 12 months. As we talk in the month of August, all the members of Parliament, both the National and Senate, have finished their 3 years. So we still have 24 months. So we just need to use 12 months and do all that pertains to referendum and have the next 12 months to plan for the national election.
All right, so let's wind up this conversation by asking you that same question that has been on the lips of many Kenyans, and that is the Raila presidency. And we've seen also some leaders of the Jubilee Party talking about a Raila presidency in 2022.
I think from where I sit, ODM as a party will have a presidential candidate. ODM has not pronounced their presidential candidate. Raila himself, the Prime Minister, has not said in public that he wants to be a president now. What Raila said, what is important for the country, is to have a cohesive society, is to set a framework where everybody else in the country will feel a level of equity. Everybody in the country will feel that the country is transparent. There's enough democratic space for everybody to operate. When the time comes, I can confirm ODM will have a presidential candidate